Forget gurus. Forget anyone claiming to be an online business expert without going through the challenges of entrepreneurship themselves. The Real Money, Real Business podcast is here to prove the best insights in online business comes from your fellow online business builders. We dig into stories of entrepreneurs selling their business on the Empire Flippers marketplace so that you can learn how they made their business profitable, how they overcame obstacles, and what lessons they learned in their online journey. If you want to take your business and your knowledge to the next level, you've come to the right podcast. Let's get started.
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the Real Money, Real Business podcast. We record these interviews so that potential buyers can learn more about the business and the seller to help them make an informed buying decision. If you would like to learn more about this business, including details like what type of business it is, how much revenue and profit it makes, and all of the assets included with the business, simply visit empireflippers.com/marketplace and search for this business's listing number, which you can find in the video thumbnail and in the description. Or if you're watching this on YouTube, you can click the link in the description to go straight to the listing. So without further ado, let's get into this interview. First up, let's learn a little bit about you. Can you tell us about your background in building and running online businesses?
So my background with building and running online businesses, I've been full-time at this for the last a little over 10 years now. So I started in 2014. Initially, I started to, build websites and rank them and sell those leads to local companies, home service-based businesses and other industries. And in 2017, I discovered affiliate pay-per-call, which, for me, it was like the holy grail. I could just focus on generating traffic. I didn't have to worry anymore about, clients or closing deals. All I had to do was, build a streamlined system or business for generating traffic and phone calls and leads for these different local businesses. And then I can sell 100% of that traffic directly to these bigger networks. And there's no shortage of networks. Just because you use one doesn't mean that that's the only source of income. What I really like about it is I think of it like a faucet. If anything was to happen with one affiliate network, you just simply turn the faucet off and you turn it back on to another network. And that's what I think is beautiful about this business model in particular. And so I've been basically doing this specific model since 2017. I have experience selling these businesses as well, flipping these sites. And the thing that I really like is also how passive they are.
Why are you selling the business now instead of keeping it and growing it further?
The reason that I'm selling this business is that I have many sites in my portfolio, and I'm at a point now, which I often get to, where I need to really double down on a few, pick a few of them. So I have a few projects that I really like to focus my, resources, attention, and effort on. This is just an effort to kind of condense my portfolio a little bit and, refocus my efforts. And I mean, obviously, we'd all like to do as many things as possible, but, I found with me personally, I like to really just focus on a smaller handful of sites. What I like to do is just sell some every now and then.
Can you describe the amount and the type of work that you do on this business to maintain it?
This is one of the best things, in my opinion, about this business model is at this point, the way the site is, I don't really do much. There's not much work to be done per se. Like I log in every, month or two and make sure all the plugins are updated and the WordPress plugins. And I just, click around the site to make sure that everything is working as it should. But this site specifically has been on autopilot now for at least a year, to where I'd say 1 hour a week is like an upper limit. I don't even think I'm putting that much into it. But, the invoices are automated. You can log into the affiliate network and see your dashboard, how much earnings have come in daily. It's direct deposit weekly into my account. So, even that doesn't involve me like going in and counting and sending invoices. It's all done automatically. The money just comes into the account. And then obviously just, renewing the domain when that comes up and the hosting account. The business is extremely passive.
So if you were to keep this business, what are some of the ways you would try to grow it?
Yeah, this is a good question. If I was going to keep the business, some ways that I would grow it would be to increase the brand visibility, focus a lot more on the branding side of it. If there was one element or one side of it that I thought was a bit more weaker, this would be it. At the same time, it's a huge opportunity, just focus more on the brand presence. The site has very strong on-page SEO, off-page SEO. The backlinks are very strong and authoritative. So the branding is one of the main elements that I would focus heavily on if I was to continue to grow it. Just claiming different profiles, getting reviews on other, top platforms in the industry. And you're really focusing on the presence of it, because I think that's a, kind of a gap that could yield some pretty nice returns.
Right. And what would you say are the biggest risks with this business that buyers should be aware of?
Obviously, since the site runs off of organic traffic, it's monetized through organic traffic, SEO. Obviously, that's the biggest risk, is that it's affected by Google updates and it can have little ups and downs based on that. So that's what I would say on that end of it.
How much support are you willing to offer the buyer who acquires this business?
So on the support end of things, I'm willing to offer, 30 days of email support and maybe 2 or 3, 60 or 90-minute phone call sessions, just in order to make sure that there's a smooth transition and everything is running smoothly. But because of the nature of this, everything's very, very simple. Like I said, very hands-off, and even actively growing it, it's not going to require much, ongoing support. But yeah, 30 days email support or 2 or 3 phone calls of 60 to 90 minutes.
Are you open to negotiating something like an earn-out agreement?
I am open to an earn-out in some capacity. Now, the caveat with that is I would be less flexible on pricing with an earn-out. There wouldn't be a situation where I would really want to go less than like an 80-20. The most flexible with the most cash up front, and with an earn-out, I'd be, much less flexible on the sale price.
Okay, final question. If you had to put yourself in the shoes of a buyer, why is your business a business worth buying?
If I was putting myself in the shoes of the buyer, I think this business is worth buying because, it has consistently made money since 2017, since, its inception. So it has a track record of, that's 8 years coming up on 9 years of earning. In certain months, the income has went way up. And I think that focusing really heavily on some stuff like, the branding of the site, things like focusing more and putting more attention and effort into the higher socioeconomic areas, like the higher payout zones of the US, and just places that get more payouts from the traffic, it can be a big win. And it's extremely passive. Like I said, I've been involved with many, many different ways to, earn money online or earn money, in general. And this is by far the most passive and enjoyable income model that I've been associated with or that I've used personally. Yeah, just because of the nature of the business model, it's extremely hands-off, Like I said, most times there's really like maybe an hour or 2 at this stage with it of the business that I'm actually working. So I think it's a very good opportunity.
All right, everyone. Thanks for listening. To learn more and see if this business is still for sale, head over to empireflippers.com/marketplace and search for this business listing number, which you can find in the video thumbnail and description. Or if you're watching this on YouTube, click the link in the description to go straight to the listing. Once you've unlocked this listing, you'll find everything you need to know about this business. So, thanks for joining us. See you next time.